I'm Brent Leary.
Paul Greenberg.
Yeah, we are. All right, we're the CRM players. You know, we're a bit frazzled here, but we are the CRM players. I think.
That's what they tell us.
Who's they?
The aliens.
Oh God, we
Well,
don't
I
need any
can't
of
help it,
those.
man. Not like I have much I can tell them back.
Well, anyway, we are the CRM players, and apparently, we've been bringing the azzz
Zzz.
since 2009. You know, since it's now 2025, and we were bringing the azzz in 2009. My mathematical calculations say that's 16 years now.
You know, your accounting degree did actually for you. That's fantastic.
I went to 4 years of hell just to be able to say that. Yeah.
But isn't it worth it all?
No,
I
I'm just
didn't
kidding.
think so.
You know, it'll be worth it all if we beat the Eagles on Sunday. That's what it will be.
I will be
digress.
watching from my hotel room since I will be down in Atlanta. And I know I won't be watching with you. Although I have to say I am honored that I was privileged once to be able to watch with you, and that was very scary.
Yeah. And it was against your team, too, of all teams.
Yeah, well, I think that's why you gave me the pass. And if I remember correctly, you guys won and we lost, which was not terribly surprising.
Yeah, I was angry and mad and upset, and we won. So that kind of says it all.
So, I mean, and you were actually at our house.
Yeah, I know.
You were in my house, so
in the man cave.
The good news is you didn't throw anything because you would have had to throw stuff from us.
Right. And when you say things, it could have been a cat if I got really angry.
Well, actually, it was more likely, given what we were watching, it was going to be a bottle of alcohol.
That too. But anyway, we are the CRM players, and we're on the eve of the very first ever live CRM players event.
As soon as you said Eve, I started thinking of Barry McGuire, and you know what that song was in 1965? We're on the eve of destruction.
No, I don't know who Barry McGuire is, or
it was a Green Beret who had a #1 hit in 1965 called "Eve of Destruction."
Maybe that's why
Eve,
it was
thinking "Eve of Destruction."
Yeah, well, no.
Oh, God,
well,
no.
Let's hope not.
That's right.
Let's go. Wait a minute, something's wrong. Something feels off.
And what might that be? I know what it is.
No Somebody once again, he shows up once. And we say we're so glad to have him back.
Raises our hopes and then crushes us again.
He's AWOL again. No moment is spent. Jeez, it's kind of hard to get to this thing. But anyway, we are really excited. Wow. IRL 2025 is almost among us. Among us?
Among us would literally make it aliens.
Upon us?
Upon us.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if you caught my note where I said, yeah, see, Eric, thank you. Well, that does kind of age you, even though I don't see how you would know it. You're too young for it. But
hey, Dilip.
Hey, Dilip, how you doing, buddy?
Very glad to see folks coming in. Oh, look who it is.
Oh, for God's sake, man.
Look who it is. And it looks like...
I think he's saying good morning from the aliens of some kind or something.
Well, you know, they called down here ATLians.
ATLians.
Yeah, that was the thing going back there. But anyway, that looks German, don't it?
Yeah, that's definitely German.
Baron Munchausen Gruben.
We were worried about you again, Sven.
We called you out, Sven. Sorry.
Yeah, we need you to be there in the beginning. You're so important to the damn show.
We couldn't take it back. It's already out there and recorded. But we're glad you're here.
Oh my God, yeah. Worry about you. When that
got into 1960s songs in college.
That's why he knows Eve of Destruction.
I mean, let me see. Do I have any favorite 1960s songs?
It wasn't Eve of Destruction, I can tell you that. Munich is greeting the aliens. So we're the aliens. That's the idea. Got it.
What's my favorite song from the 60s?
I have so many.
I mean,
Jimi Hendrix.
I was gonna say if I had to think. Well, I mean, he would definitely be among them. But I also like a lot of Coltrane from the 60s.
Yeah,
I like a lot of Miles from the 60s now I think about it.
different genre than what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I still like those
Yeah.
are like my guys.
We were
And
more, like Mike Bloomfield, people
that
like
sounds
that.
like a columnist for the New
Oh
York
no,
Times.
look up Mike Bloomfield's impact on actual transformation of guitars and blues. It's huge,
Okay.
huge. I mean, huge, huge, huge. And our good friend who will be at the event, Steve Gilmore, knew Paul Butterfield from Paul
Oh,
Butterfield Blues Bands, and they were one of the greats back then.
Paul is having the aliens camera style. What does
That's
that
weird.
mean?
I don't know. Maybe because my camera doesn't look all that.
All
It's
right.
out of focus a little bit.
And you are kind of sitting low. I don't know.
Well, yeah, again, because one of the things that's going to happen for our event is I'm dismantling this camera and taking it down to Atlanta so we can have some extra cameras on the video side with our things. They want to be consistent. So I moved it, and that's why I look lower than even normal. So I didn't really want to bother putting it back in. I also look a little out of focus. So
Just a
I'm
tad.
going to go a lot out of focus for a minute, and then I'll come back in.
Oh, now you're in focus.
Yeah.
That
There we
didn't
go.
take long.
No, this is the app I use for it right here. That's how I
Okay.
focus my camera.
Nice.
It's cool. Focus puller, it's called.
Well, all right. So usually we have guests and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Michael, it's gonna be freezing cold in the A. It used to be the South. I moved from Delaware to avoid this kind of stuff. Man, I didn't move
I will
far
tell you
enough.
what. I mean, one of my pitches for people to um, register for the virtual event is going to be way too cold for them to come. So all of you suckers who are coming,
Damn. All right. So we usually like have guests and stuff like that. But we thought, well, quite honestly, our guests kind of canceled on. So we were like, okay, why don't we? Well, not canceled. Postpone is probably a better way,
right?
Because he is coming on February 6th. We are going to have. I don't even think I have that promo here. Anyway, Colin Fleming, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for ServiceNow, will be joining us on February 6th, our February 6th show. Usual time, 3 to 4. Is that a few good minutes? Alan is trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
You know what we used to say back in the day when somebody tries to make a joke? Alan, try to make a funny.
Make it funny. I heard that one too. I actually heard that one too.
Oh, so you're going to be going right from the NRF to the NYC? Oh, look. Well, he's coming from NRF, NIC to ATL, basically.
Okay. I guess. Okay.
That's cool. Bring us something, Michael. Bring us back something from the NRF. There's going to be lots of retail there, I'm guessing. So anyway, what we decided to do is just take this time to kind of talk about what's going to happen next week, or what we hope will happen next week. We'll see.
Oh, you know what? Alan's saying, look at the top right of our screen.
Alan is a sharp guy.
Yes, he is.
Those Mets fans and Jets fans, they need to look at other things.
The Mets, the Jets, and the Giants fans. I would leave it.
I wasn't gonna lump you in with them.
Nah, I mean, I have to admit, look. I don't even watch football this year because of the Giants. It's so bad. And the Jets, I like the Jets, and I can't watch them either because they're so bad.
So, I'm so used to Alan making bad jokes that I didn't even, No, I'm just kidding.
That was good catch. Good catch, Alan.
Good catch. And that was
really
from
Super Blind.
That was from yesterday. Actually, yesterday was really my first few good minutes of the year with Kelly Romack, who I actually met. Excuse me. I actually met her at Oracle Open World. This is how far this goes back. It was called Oracle Open World, and it was at the Moscone Center.
Oh my God!
It's a long time ago because it's not called Oracle Open World anymore. It's called Oracle Cloud World, and it's not held at the Moscone Center anymore. It's held in Vegas. and it has been ever since the pandemic. We got back from the pandemic. So, and at the time, she was working at the Hilton, and she was like a VP of some digital stuff at the Hilton. Fast forward to yesterday, she is now the chief digital information officer at ServiceNow. But you know what? Still the same great conversation, the
Oh my
great
God.
energy.
Like so cheerful. Right? She's
She was
like
awesome.
she's really smart, but then she's so cheerful about all of it.
You know what she said though?
What?
When I mentioned that we're gonna have Colin on after we get past all this stuff, she was like, "Oh man, you don't want to put me and Colin together. We'll take it over."
Okay.
Like, we absolutely want to put you together, and we want to do it at Knowledge 24 if we can. So let's put that out there. That would be awesome. Those two together, that would be great.
You know what that takes this year for me?
Yeah, I know.
Right. There's a definite change in let's say in travel plans for me the entire year. So what we're really saying, ServiceNow, engage me and Brent. Right. Otherwise, I ain't coming.
No, there's no takeovers, Finn. It was just a mere, technicality there, a little switch of the graphic there. All right, so there is no guest, but guess what, folks? If I can only say folks, we still have the most favored segment in the whole show.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Stump the Godfather is still around, folks. So don't worry. We got it.
My day.
I know you're sticking around for.
And Clint Eastwood said, "Make my day." I'm saying, "Waste my day."
It's a good one too. It's like one I just literally got.
There's no such thing as good Stump the Godfather.
We'll do that in a little bit. We'll break up. We'll break up the talk with the event with a little Stump the Godfather.
It's so bad. It's a carbon dioxymoron.
Hey, Donnie, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the event. Donnie's already setting up like meetups.
Why are you kidding, Donnie? You might as well just take over and be the event planner. Right? My God, man.
Like he's got a couple of meetups going on.
He's got meetups with like 10, 15 people. He's got 10% of the whole event coming to his meetups.
They're probably like, look, we don't even want to come to the event. We're just going to hang out with Donnie in the, the tavern.
And by the way, Donnie, Noah's coming. She's all set. Just so you know.
Oh, I thought for a minute you said Santa's coming. I was like, really?
Santa Claus is coming to town, but that's later.
All right. So let's start talking a little bit about where we are with this thing.
I don't think we want to tell people the truth, do we?
Well, we could snow them for a little bit longer, I guess. But let's see. Eric is saying Donnie should manage the registration desk. Makes things more efficient for everyone. Hey, Donnie, if you need that's a good idea. Anyway, all right. So where do you want to start with all this?
Well, we can start with kind of the general gist of it, the 4 streams and the hybrid nature.
Okay. So why don't we even start just to refresh people why we're even doing this?
Well, because we bring the azzz.
So we went from virtual as bringing to real as. That just doesn't sound good.
Oh, when you say as bringing, it sounds really
it really sounds hideous.
Bringing the as is okay. That sounds okay, but when you start like making the as the kind of what do you call it? The adjective, it doesn't work. I only will do it when you show up because you're the one who's going to hand it to me. Other than if Sven hands me a blueberry bagel on stage, I will eat it. But other than that, it will not happen.
No, that's all I'll say that. All right, let me do this. Let's do this while we talk. I want to. Oh, do I have it? Yeah. Okay. So this is something that people should really keep in mind and actually go to right now. If I can only bring it on there. This URL, and we'll talk about what goes on with the event, but this is the URL to go to if you want to watch virtually, because we are going to be streaming pretty much everything that's going to be going on, and we'll talk about what that means. But if you want to watch virtually, IRL 2025.com. You go to that. And at the top right hand of the landing page, there's a big old register button. You click on that. Maybe I could even show this. Let me see if I can bring it up.
That would be
Here.
good.
Well,
That register button is more than registration, so it's really important.
it's more than a registration.
Yeah.
All right. So where is okay? There it is. All right. So let me do this, and I'm gonna get so you can talk through everything there. Go ahead and set the stage.
You'll note here, this is IRL2025.com. You can see that, right? If you scroll through this page, you'll see there's a preview video which you can click on. Then there's the basic picture of, why we're doing the event, that it's actually a hybrid event, but this is merely a virtual. Then who the 6 sponsors are, and we can get more of that later. The speakers at the event, these are all the individual speakers coming, and it's kind of a good overview. And if you go down a little further, you'll see the actual agenda itself.
A lot of speakers.
Yeah, we really do have quite a few speakers, and this is the actual agenda. Now, when you go back to the top and you look at the upper right, you'll see register. Now that's actually more important than even this page, right? This is where you actually do register for the virtual event, which is going to be on the Zoom events platform. Zoom is one of our sponsors, our tech sponsor. So we'll be using that platform. And there's a number of reasons which we'll discuss as we go through it today, why we're doing that, because it does allow. But this is where you register, but go down further too, because it's also where you begin to start seeing the sessions themselves. You'll be able to take a look at what's going on. And these are different segments or different I call them rooms. They're different rooms, basically. So I think if you look at this, you'll get a good idea of what we're doing. If you look in the middle, you see the CRM Playaz zone. No, back on there. Right. You see the CRM Playaz zone. That's the main stage. And again, Brent and I will get to the details on that after we go out of the screen. That is where the bulk of things will be going on from roughly 8:00 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, till about 4:00 p.m. at night, maybe give or take 15 minutes on both ends. That's where the keynotes are going to go on. That's where the individual panels are going to go on. That's where the conversations are going to go on. That's where the CRM Watch List Grand Finale Awards will be announced, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You'll also note, though, there are 3 other things there. You have Heather Cam, live sketch artist, and that main stage will be live streamed the entire day. Then you have Heather Cam, live sketch artist. I know a lot of you have seen, if you've been to Ray Wang's event or many events, really. I would think we used them back with BPT at Capgemini, a different company in the UK at one point. But the artists who visualize the actual conversations going on stage as they're being done, Heather is the master. She really is the best I've ever seen. She does Ray Wang's event. I've known her a decade. She's a remarkable person as well as a remarkable artist, and she has a team of people who do the work too, who are all very, very good. We are actually not only going to have that done with the boards, but we're going to have a Heather Cam, which is going to be literally her work will be streamed with the sound in the back. Now, you also see Playaz Cast, live commentary. Look, let's face it. Eli and Peyton have done wonders with Monday Night Football. I remember when Brent and I watched the very first one, there were 800,000 people on it. And then and it was on Monday Night Football, and both of us were like taken aback at how great it was. And then the next week, they had like 6 million people on it, right? And it's been a popular and imitated thing ever since. Well, we also do watch parties, so it's questionable as to whether they're imitating us or we're imitating them, right? So this is both of that. So what we have is this will be also live streamed all day, and it will be a main stage live stream, but with that, hosted by the incredible Bob Fagel, who's one of our regulars on the CRM Playaz Happy Hours this year, called Nirvana, the happy place. Bob Fagel will be hosting it all day, and we'll have people such as Katrina Gazarian and Cheryl Kingstone coming in, and both Bob and them will be commenting live on various speeches and panels and conversations going on that main stage. We'll be announcing that details about who in more detail a little later. So that will be going on all day. There'll be a live watch party. Now, if you are attending virtually and you're interested in doing that, please contact me at paul-greenberg3 at the56group.com. If you're interested in being on that. MST3K. What's that? I don't even know what that is, Alan. You have to be a little more better. Now, it's lunchtime, but you'll see what it says there. At noon, lunch in Playaz Production Zone. The Playaz Production Zone is PPN shows. And we have five shows, 4 PPN and 1 that is, let's say, overlaps, but isn't PPN, being shown throughout the entire event. And Brent, you're blank. You went blank. There you are. That is where we're going to actually have CRM Playaz will do an episode, The Venerables. We're going to have EWPK, where we'll be carrying one conversation from the main stage on PC video gaming and the business model and the power of that business model will be carried through in EWPK. Oh, that's right. I never saw it that way. It's exactly right. Then we have in the hot seat, we have the Crunch and Brent and John Lawson, aka Colder Ice, aka the cold one, the bold one, the old one, will be doing their show, Pass the Mic. And those 5 will be going on. You could be watching it while you're eating lunch. If you don't want to watch the main stage thing, you'd rather watch a show, walk in if you're there. But if you're virtual, you can watch those shows, which will be going on simultaneously with what's going on the main stage. And that's kind of the overview of the event that day, and especially for you virtual attendees. Again, you want to participate, you can. Come and participate in the live commentary. Take a look at the agenda. Tell us what interests you. Contact me. We'll get you set up, and you can go when the time comes.
So I think one of the things that we wanted to do, if we were going to do an event, is to try to do things a little differently. You know, we all attend kind of the traditional industry events, and they run a certain way, and that's fine, and they're really good events for the most part. But there are certain things about these events that we don't necessarily like, and we thought if we were going to do an event, a live event, we were going to try to do things, experiment on some things, try some things a little differently than what we're used to, and going to all these different events. So, oh look, we got our first registrant. Well, of the day. Sven is registered. All right, Sven is made up for being late.
Thank you. And Sven, if you want to be a commenter, just let us know. You just have to contact me, and you know how to do that.
Yeah. All right. So we didn't want to just do an event just for doing an event's sake. We wanted to do one because we've never really done a live event, and if we were ever going to do one, it was either now or never kind of thing. And then the flip side of that is we wanted to do things a little differently than we're used to seeing at vendor events. Not to say that they're wrong or they do things badly. It's just we wanted to try some different stuff. Let's see. Yeah, oh God,
I'm not sad about that. I'm sad you're not there. I'll put it that way. I have absolutely no remorse whatsoever that you can't hand me that bagel.
So we wanted to try some things, and we've been doing the show weekly since the pandemic started, and we've gotten really pretty good with doing these streaming events. We do some special streaming events beyond the traditional show like this. Our executive roundtable stuff, the what a CRM stuff, the stuff we did during the pandemic with the bands, the battle of the bands, and all that. So we have some ideas, some thoughts on how to do events. We wanted to see how they work. So I don't think we've seen. I don't think maybe maybe somebody out there has. Yeah, we'll miss him, Smith. We'll miss him. Um, I don't know. I don't think I've seen any of the traditional vendor events try streaming four things at the same time and doing things like a Heather Cam and doing things like like a Playaz cast versus a Manning cast, or just doing a live studio audience for the shows. We were like, why don't we try it? And luckily for us, and I think it's to the credit of the folks who are helping us out with this, we got some really great support from sponsors.
Oh my God,
because we wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without the help and the support that we got from folks like Zoho and Oracle and Salesforce and Zoom and user testing and Pega. Am I missing anybody?
You named 6.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Do we have 6? I thought okay. It just couldn't be possible. But Paul, maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, I mean, the one thing we made clear even before this started, even and to all the sponsors pre-agreement, we're not a demand gen conference. We're not. If you really think you're coming to land customers, either don't come or have a good time, and you're going to be fired when you get back because you didn't get any customers, right? So we told them that, and they didn't care. They did not care. They every one of these sponsors and all of these people, they know us. They've been on the show, at times. And they're people we know and love for a long time. They trust what we're trying to do, and they also know that we're trying to have an impact where we can change. Hopefully, people can learn from certain things that are both what we're doing and what we're presenting, both, meaning how we're putting on the conference and the content itself. And the idea is come back with some ideas that might help your company if it's your company, but also just it's kind of like what BYOB did. Have a good time when things are tough too, when things are a little bit stressful, because that's one of the other things that we did. And I will tell you, all 6 of these sponsors came through, and some of them had to jump hoops just to get the funding and do all these other things. And they did. They made the effort, and we not only thank them for it, we love them for just the people they are and have been all these years. And I'd say on the average, we've known each person involved in the company that was involved in helping us get sponsored probably about 12, 13 years. And that's only because there's some are less than 10, right? So, a couple that are less than 10. So it's, again, the other thing that this conference is doing, and this is something that was being pointed out to me more and more in comments by people who don't really know us, by people who are seeing us post on LinkedIn and elsewhere, and also by the people who are requesting attendance at the last minute, the last crew of requests, is they all are referencing the community. And that's the words they're using. It's the community. And this is, again, these are strangers. These are people who are not active participants in our community. So it's people who have been outside it looking at it, right? And they all want to be part of it. Because look, there is a dynamic, and I found it a long time ago when I did some, I'll call it anecdotal investigation, meaning what is that? Qualitative, not quantitative, where I looked at all the other markets and industries, and only the CRM, CX, and CE community, and this isn't with biases at all, only do we have like an active community that really enjoys each other's company and makes an effort to put it together. And we've been lucky, Brent and I have been lucky, because we've gotten to be at the center of a lot of it, because we're doing things that people want to do. And, we're happy to take the burden of it on. And so, and we're lucky. I mean, we're very lucky. So this also is a community gathering, in addition to an event, in addition to providing content of value in it. And it's also, the other thing about this is it's very right-brained. This is a very right-brained. This is not about KPIs. This is not about ROI. Doesn't mean they won't be involved somewhere, but this is about value in the sense that we look at it, which is the value and impact of the personal and cultural contributions of human beings on institutions such as businesses. And that's really how this is shaping up. So there, that outsider inside thing, there's one guy who I've never heard of who commented on, I put up a post the other yesterday or day before on the event and on and virtual registration, and he said, you guys have a real opportunity because of the hybrid nature of what you're doing. And then he also mentioned the content, and he was talking about the sports business panel that we have, the conversation that me, Anand Tucker, and Todd Harris are going to do on PC and video gaming, all those kind of things, the right brain cultural side. And he mentioned the investor. I think he mentioned investors too. He said, you have a real opportunity to do something that nobody's really done before. And again, we're seeing this, beginning to show up. So this is, I mean, to me, this is really interesting, even though I don't think I'll come. I'll watch it. It's going to be cold.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing to point out too is, I did an event, I guess it's about 12 years ago at this point.
God almighty.
12,
my
yeah.
machine was Windows Vista.
Actually, the first one was 13 years ago. And doing events are tough, man. I mean,
yeah,
give it up to all event organizers and people that do this on a regular basis, because it's tough. And kind of going into doing this, I admit I was kind of apprehensive because it's just, I remember what it's like. But one of the things that we wanted to make sure of, if we were going to do it, was that it was going to be, we weren't trying to reach a whole lot of people that we don't know. We wanted to have, only a certain number of people total come and can actually be there physically. So it was a completely invite only thing for the in real life portion of it, at least. And what makes it kind of cool about that is we actually know pretty much everybody, and for the most part, I think most people are going to know at least one or two, if not a majority of the folks that are going to be here. So it is literally a community event, from the folks that we've just known through doing the show and also doing our regular analyst kind of stuff, to the folks that come to the weekly happy hour, to the folks that we meet at these events. There's not going to really be anybody that we don't know directly, or maybe one relationship in between. But that's pretty much it. And that allows us to really, kind of celebrate the players, but also we know with the kind of people that are on stage and in the audience and virtually out there. It's going to be a good conversation. It's going to be good discussions, because we know everybody that's going to be here is really dedicated to the subject matter and really dedicated to the conversation. That's why I've been calling it for a while, conversational thought leadership, because it's not the traditional webinar or white paper, very strict, very scripted, very structured stuff, which there's a place for that. I'm not saying there isn't, but I think at least what I enjoy about what we've done over the years are just the conversations with people that go beyond just the subject matter. And I think that's why we wanted to invite the people that we invited to be in the room with us, and also anybody else who wants to join us virtually. We actually take the virtual audience just as serious. We have, asked Paul to talk a little bit about what we're doing in terms of engaging the virtual audience beyond what we traditionally see when we go to vendor events.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing is, the other thing is that when we look at the virtual registrations, I'd say we know so far. I mean, there's, we're just really kicking it into heavy gear, but we probably know 80% of them, right? These again, this isn't it's a concentration, virtually and in person, of a community that's been there for years. Oh, the other thing I wanted to comment on for the IRL side was there are about a dozen people, maybe give or take a couple, people coming in from Europe for this. And wide variety of professions, like Silvana Bouillon, who's one of the great thought leaders in organizational change and culture. Marta Federici, who runs the engagement and CRM and CX at Henkel, is coming in. Ava Armborst, who's a successful independent social media consultant who I've known since she was a student. Mirka Trisnova, who's a PhD in CRM, literally the only one I know in the world, who's a professor of CRM.
Doctor of CRM. That's
pretty. Doctor of CRM. I mean, she's coming, and people like that. Adrian Swinsko, he's a thought leader and an influencer. He'll be here. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is a real widespread community of practitioners and thought leaders and analysts and journalists and vendors and technical people. I mean, it's the whole gamut, and it's amazing. Now on the virtual side, the biggest area where you could participate is on the live conversations on the Playaz cast. I'm not on the IRL side. One of the things we're doing, we have 2 segments of great debate, and there's going to be 2 analysts in each segment. One pair of Vinnie Merchandani and Thomas Webernight. Another pair is Mike Fawcett it's Mike Fawcett and Vinnie Merchandani. It's Liz Miller and Thomas Webernight. And then there's going to be a third chair, and there'll might be a moderator too. We'll figure that out later. We'll figure that out probably 5 minutes before the session. But there'll be an empty chair, and we're going to reveal the question that they got to discuss at the moment of the start of their conversation. And we're going to ask for a volunteer from the audience to come up to join it and debate with them, right? And if nobody comes up, it'll just be the 2 of them. But hopefully there'll be enough brave volunteers to come up and argue with some testy but very nice analysts. So we'll see what happens with that. That's what I mean. There's engagement at all times, right, going on in IRL and virtually. Are there any other opportunities you can remember for virtual engagement beyond the conversation live?
Well, we are actually going to have people that are going to be hosting the virtual event, right. The virtual side.
That's right.
And that's because traditionally when you go to a vendor event and they do stream their their keynotes, but really all it is they're putting a camera on. There's no direct engagement with the virtual audience. It's just basically you're watching what's taking place in the auditorium, in the room.
Right.
What we wanted to do is go a little bit beyond that, because we do feel the virtual audience is just as important. So we're going to have people specifically there virtually. I mean, when I say there, I mean virtually, to really kind of, I guess, maybe MC or host the virtual audience. So they're going to be able to, directly engage with the virtual audience, even if we're not able to directly. People are there. You can have your own conversations. You like Paul said, if you're coming in virtually, you can choose what you watch. I mean, you might want to switch away from the main keynote and watch one of the shows. You might want to watch the Heather Cam. You might want to watch the Manning or the Playaz cast. And you'll have a virtual host that will, kind of maybe even do look-ins to see what's going on with things, or maybe have your own engagement and conversations around what you see. And there's going to be a community of folks that are virtual audiences that you can engage with each other. So it's not just about what's going on in the room. We wanted to make sure that the people who are watching virtually are also feeling like a part of the community, not just an onlooker.
And actually, to that point, our primary virtual host, Monique Johnson, and we have someone else we're likely to do it. Um, Monique Johnson, I mean, she's a rock star in her own right. I mean, she is she's like a leading video production and distribution expert. She is also, as you'll see, as our virtual when she's our virtual host, she's a personality. I mean, like a really. The other thing is, if you've ever watched Up from the Rabbit Hole with me and Brent, she's the other host. And what she does with me and Brent is she kicks us back into line when Brent and I start geeking out on equipment. We start showing off everything we have in our office, and she said, "Oh yeah," and so according to the question that person asked, and we're right back where we were supposed to be. Right? She's all. But here's the other thing. One of the things that I know Brent and I and many have been bugged by when you're watching a virtual event, vendor event. Other one is when they have a moderator inside the comment section, inside the chat area or the comment section, they're just traffic cops. Somebody makes a comment. All that happens is said, "Oh yeah, we have the traffic cop then says, "Oh yeah, we have a session on that tomorrow at this. Here's the link." We're not talking about it. We're talking about our virtual hosts will also be involved in the conversation. We might be involved in the conversation. And when I say we, anybody there who has a chance comes on in just to get involved. Look, one of the things that Creatio does so well, and they really have been champs at this, is for example, the C-level executives of Creatio will be on stage, and when one of them's done, he comes over and starts engaging with all the people watching the virtual event. And literally, it's conversation. It's not, traffic copying. So that's where we are. It's engagement, 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 and engagement. And I think we've maximized it as best we can possibly do it for the actual event.
One other thing is, we operate pretty loosely. I mean, we have a tight schedule for the agenda, but we also want to make sure that things. If somebody brings up something that's interesting to people, we want to be able to address it and be able to kind of go with the flow a little bit. Here's a perfect example. We've seen our buddy Alan Berkson commenting uh, right along with the show so far. Alan is going to be on the agenda with his buddy Jeff Gomez talking about transmedia. Uh, Alan, if you're there, if you're still here, and you want to join us, let us know. We'll shoot you the link. You can come on and talk a little bit about what you and Jeff are going to be talking about at the event. That would be cool. And we are just trying to facilitate the conversation any way we can. So, Alan, if you're available to come on and talk with us for a few, let us know. I'll shoot you the link.
Yeah, and while we're waiting for Alan, hopefully he's still around. While we're waiting for Alan, the other thing we're doing is, as you know, the CRM watch list was retired. Okay, Alan's there. He said, sure. So, all right, the CRM watch list was retired a couple of years ago. Well, we have now the CRM watch list grand finale awards, which are being hosted by CRM Playaz. I mean, and what we did was very different. We had 27 different analysts who picked the finalists, who picked the categories, the overall, the finalists and the winners. And throughout the entire event, we'll be announcing some of them. And then the last half hour of the event, we'll be announcing kind of the bigger awards, like the major impact kind of awards. Because these are like, what hasn't changed is these are impact awards. So there'll be 25 awards ultimately given out. I would say roughly 18 of them, 19 of them will be, maybe one or two less, I haven't figured it out yet, will be given out or will be announced throughout the day, right? In 30 seconds for each one at most. So you'll be seeing that. So keep your eyes tuned, because you got to realize 27 analysts to pick the finalists, which is really where the big scope was. I mean, ultimately, when you had the finalists, the analysts had to choose from the finalists. But prior to that, they were allowed to do anything they wanted from their entire career for their choices. Now, think about that. That means, if it was best CRM platform, it could have been any platform in the history of CRM that they liked. And yet, there were clear-cut finalists. And there's people finalists here. Best CEO. There's best executive. There's best analyst relations person. Well, best meaning most respected was the word. And keep in mind, think about this. These 27 analysts, which means in the course of their life, they probably ran across, 1,000 analyst relations people at least, right? And yet there were 3 who stood out as finalists, and then 1 was chosen as a winner. That's what I'm saying. It's like you got to imagine what that actually means when, especially from finalists on, not just the winner. The winner is amazing, but they're a very narrow field there. The fact that you were chosen to have 1,000 people to be a finalist was astonishing. And by the way, many of the races were very close.
Was there a most hated sports franchise category?
No, because we know what that was. I mean, right, we didn't bother. Patriots, yay! There it is. There was, and we're announcing it now. It's the New England Patriots.
Well, what we're announcing right now is
a close second.
Alan Bergson joining us.
He is the man.
Hey guys, good to see you,
sir.
All right, sir. So you are coming to town, and you're coming with your friend, and you're gonna talk about something that I bet a lot of folks that go to traditional industry events in our space probably don't even know what it is. But we're glad that you and Jeff are coming because we think it's important and it's different. And what we want to do is have different stuff coming into our space, like what Paul and Anand are going to do and Todd are going to do around the gaming stuff. And, bringing in some of the venture and private equity folks to talk about what AI is doing to them when it comes to enterprise apps. So tell us a little bit about what the hell you're going to be talking about with your buddy.
What the hell?
What the hell? Well, first, let me say I'm really excited about the gaming session. One of the biggest trends in entertainment is the gaming is part of the gaming story worlds are fertile ground for a lot of the franchises that we're seeing. And that ties into what Jeff and I are going to talk about. Brent, you mentioned transmedia. Transmedia is not a new concept. It's been around for 25 years at least. But it's a way of telling stories. If I Googled or if I searched on LinkedIn for storyteller, I imagine that I'd get tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people who define themselves as storytellers.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting any of them down, but the architecture of storytelling is not familiar to most people. They think about a hero who goes on a quest, solves a problem, and that's a story, and it's a lot more complex than that. And so Jeff and I have a book that we're publishing. It's an ebook, the 10 Commandments of Corporate Narrative. I know that you like to say I'm the chief narrative officer for CRM Playaz. I think that may be one of my titles. And we're really Jeff is in the entertainment business. He's worked on major franchises: Pirates of the Caribbean, Men in Black, Avatar, Spider-Man. He's also worked with consumer brands, Goldfish, Hot Wheels, Mattel. So he's used to.
You're also leaving out one of my childhood favorites, man.
Oh yes. Jeff is right now over the last, I guess, almost 2 years. He's reinvigorated a very beloved Japanese hero called Ultraman, and maybe a lot of your audience hasn't heard of him or of Ultraman, but at the same time, there's a whole new generation of happy consumers who are enjoying what Ultraman has to give.
Can Jeff bring like a beta capsule? Because I would love to, kind of.
Netflix has Pokemon videos all over the place.
I will definitely see what Jeff can bring. Quite honestly, I don't know what a beta capsule is.
Oh my God! And you call yourself an Ultraman fan?
I am not. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Jeff Gomez fan, so that makes me, I guess, by the transitive property, an Ultraman fan. No. So I've known Jeff since college, and we've talked about storytelling. And almost 2 decades ago, we got together to talk about how do we apply entertainment, the entertainment storytelling techniques to corporate environments. And how businesses tell stories. And that's sort of where we coined the phrase corporate narrative. And we've been playing around with it for a while, and we actually are going to make a call and do an introduction of a bold prediction for the future of storytelling at IRL 2025. So if you're there or if you're on virtual, you will be the first to hear us talk about it's an evolutionary step in storytelling. You've seen elements of it already. It often is something that people don't like. If you notice that the last 3 Star Wars movies were not as popular with their fan base, and it's because of these emerging narrative frameworks. And that's something we're going to explain. Some of the most popular franchise, if you are a Stranger Things fan, it's using a lot of the elements of these emerging narrative frameworks that we're gonna talk about, and especially how businesses can take advantage is not the right word. I don't like that. Can leverage and use these techniques to tell better stories. And it's not about convincing somebody to do something that they don't want to do. It's making it clear where you stand and how you can work together.
Make it palatable.
So that's sort of an overview. I don't want to tip our hand because it's going to be really cool.
No, you get a nice tease. Just leave it right there.
I've got. I'm going to keep it to myself and see how accurate. I got a theory as to what it is.
Somebody is calling because they heard that tease.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Brian Solis, our keynote.
Oh, if you need to take that.
No, it's all right.
No, you know what? You can't, because while Alan is here, guess what?
I already hung up.
Oh, wait a minute.
I was wondering when that was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, so you hung up on Brian Solis? Wow. He ought to actually know better than to call at this time.
I know.
So it was Brian Solis who was responsible for the first time Paul and I met IRL.
Really?
Brian was?
It was his event.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the one in New York. Was it the pivot thing?
Yeah. Once upon a time. Very long time ago.
In a time far, far away. In a place far away.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But you know what's not far, far away?
And now it's time for
God, I think
Stump the Godfather.
I'm going to call Brian back.
The venerable Paul Greenberg.
Sorry,
Brought to you by
Brian
Microsoft
Solis.
Dynamics 365 Copilot.
This is a good time to bring it in, and we have a guest with us. Well, he's not really a guest, but he can guess along with the Godfather for this one.
Don't I have a title with CRM Playaz?
Yeah, you're the chief corporate narrative officer, isn't that it?
I'm a player in residence. That is.
He's a PIR.
Are we still doing
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still doing it. We never let it go.
Hey, I don't care if you're doing it. I'm still talking about it.
You are a PIR.
All right. Well, all right, Mr. PIR.
In fact, actually, I think
Not a PIA.
No.
Or PITA.
And you're not MIA.
PIR.
You're not a PETA? Right. All right, so moving along. Here's today's Stump the Godfather question brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. What percentage of U.S. consumers used a chatbot to research or decide on a purchase in the past 30 days? This is a very straightforward. There's no questions that PG can.
They actually use the chat.
I have questions.
To purchase something.
What
It's the idiot percent.
It
It's the idiot percent if they used a chatbot to purchase it.
It just says what percentage used a chatbot to do research or decide on a purchase, not actually purchase it.
No, I meant to actually make this chatbot their decision maker, help them decision.
It says
chatbots are terrible.
so With all that said,
No, 0%. That's my guess.
that's 0%.
That's just because I want it to be that. Right. It's not that I'm opposed to chatbots. I'm opposed to the quality of the current one.
Mr. Charles is saying 38%. Everybody get your guesses in, and Mr. Berkson, you can get your guess in too verbally.
I'm going to say 18%.
So we got 18. We got 0%.
No, it's not really 0. That's how I said that.
All right, that's what you wanted. All right, so we got 18 and we got 38.
I got a better question though. How many know that they actually used it?
Well,
Chatbot.
that was another interesting part of that question.
Yeah.
You guys always just like the,
Well, it's just because these are all flawed research questions. Every last one you've ever done.
It's just a question.
Every single
It
last
doesn't really
shown
require deep
flawed.
thought or
Completely flawed.
you
Every
know.
last one is poor use of the language. The terms are ambiguous. The percentages are probably as accurate as percentages.
Take that up with the folks. that do this.
57,432,118
I'm just a
dollars
messenger
and
here.
14 cents predictions. They're probably that accurate, meaning
What are we
not
doing
at
here?
all. Right. So
What's going on?
there you go.
Anybody else got a guess before we
I'd like another
find out
glass
what
of
the
cold
answer
water
is?
to throw it on this.
No, that's you've turned to ice if you come down here.
Mm.
All right, so we got 18%, we got 38%. Where's Patrick when you need him? No Patrick today.
No Rebecca and Patrick.
Yeah, no Rebecca or Patrick, and it looks like all the folks that were here early have left us. Maybe they're getting an early start to get to Atlanta. Who knows?
That's right. They're walking.
Wow, Dilip is saying, is that a 30 or
That's a 3.
I don't know. I think
No, it's 30. It's 30.
I think he meant 30.
Oh, yeah, it is
30%.
You're right. It's missing a space.
Yeah, there he goes. He says 30%. So we got 18, we got 30, we got 38. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'm coming in between Alan and those two. 30 seems very optimistic to me. I'm coming in at 22.
22. So we got 18.
Yeah.
We got-
Due to my deep research on the subject.
We got 18, we got 22, we got 30, we got 38. Dilip really wants to make sure we got him in there, but we got 30 in there for you.
30-30. He's talking about the show. 30 on 30.
There's a show. Oh, ESPN 30 for 30.
Yeah, 30 for 30.
Yeah.
I don't
probably
like
not
that
good.
show.
I don't. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So I think that's
research.
I think that's all the guesses we're going to get on this one. So
I don't like this research.
the answer, it comes from Andreessen.
Andreessen Horowitz?
Yeah. All right. So the answer to this week's question: what percentage of U.S. consumers use the chatbot to research or decide on a purchase in the past 30 days? The answer is bam.
That is ridiculous. Well, then again, I won't make the political equation, but as I said,
What percentage of Andreessen Horowitz portfolio companies
that's right.
would like you to think that customers use 60%?
Look at Charlie. Charlie, I was accidentally posting to the wrong channel. I don't know where could he be posting?
I don't know. YouTube?
I was posting on LinkedIn. You're right.
Charlie, that should show.
Yeah, it should be. Although that's the first comment I've seen from Charlie. I don't know. I don't know where else he'd be posted on LinkedIn. But
I'm trying. I wonder if.
By the way, Charlie will be coming to Atlanta.
Yes, he will, which we cannot wait for.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to seeing Charlie. 60%. You guys must be shocked because it's way above what you were thinking.
I think that's stupid, but it's okay.
People still buy on Facebook, and most people don't know if they are.
Look, they buy on TikTok, they buy on Facebook, and I imagine that there are chatbots being used somewhere in there. I mean, that's fine. I don't have any issue with it. It's just, I'm just old school, man.
You get Eric. I think Eric is in the same camp as you guys. I don't think you can answer the question affirmative if you don't know you're using a chatbot. This has got to be for people who know they are using a chatbot, know enough to say, yes, I'm using a chatbot. If you don't know you're using it, you can't.
Unless this data comes from the vendor side saying our chatbots were used by 60% of consumers.
Right.
You guys are just overthinking all this damn stuff.
Isn't that what we get paid to do?
Hey, Okay.
I don't like Stump the Godfather. That's why. What do you think? Why do you
I mean, if you don't know if you're using a chat bot, I'm
best thing
guessing
to
you're not
do,
going to answer yet.
Alan, you can
you know
help
what?
me on this. The best thing to do is we overtell made up stories until we bury the
You know what
actual
this
research.
means? This means that this 60% is actually higher for all the folks who said no that didn't know they were using a chatbot, but they actually are. So this 60% could be closer to 80% as far as we know.
Only if the survey was done on consumers. If the survey was done on vendors,
It says U.S.
it could be lower
consumers
than
right
that because
there.
they think people.
U.S.
Yeah,
consumers.
but the vendors are saying that of our purchases, vendors, they're 40% are using other means and 60% are using our chatbots. It really depends where the source
You
comes
know
from.
what? I will never take a survey that you guys put out because it's going to be like 10 pages long with
Guess
all
how
the
many
ads
surveys
and
I
ifs.
put out? None.
No, you just have to give the context for your data, Brent.
My
This
context
data
is
says
it's my data. Damn it! That's the context.
where did it come from? Was it vendors or was it actual consumers?
Ask Andreessen Horowitz.
Yeah, oh yeah, that makes them. They're great
I'm
researchers.
sure
That's
they'll
what
get
they
right
do
back
so
to
well.
you. How
They're
about
great
that?
research. I'll put it this way: I know somebody who did work at Mark Andreessen's house. And I wouldn't trust a thing that I'm seeing there.
And I didn't
That's all
tell
I'm
you.
gonna say.
I didn't tell you, but I did do a special invite to Mark Andreessen. He's
Well,
coming.
oh, good for him. I'll give him a hug when I see him.
All right. You know what, Charlie? I don't know, Charlie. Maybe your posts are just starting to come through because now it looks like he's talking about the Ultraman stuff. Wow. I was asking.
I think
Alan
Ultraman would probably do a Kirin Ichiban more than a Michelob Ultra, but hey.
All right, folks. So this is a perfect example of what will go on next week.
That's exactly
me yelling at everybody, apparently. For
that's right.
whatever reason, I don't know. Oh, by the way, Alan, guess what? We are doing a special live Pass the Mic. The cold one, the bold one will be in the house. So we will be able to, you'll be able to see firsthand me yelling at him in real life as opposed.
It's one of my favorite things.
One of my favorite things too. All right. All right, Alan. So thank you. First of all, just thanks for being a good buddy here. Thanks for coming to town. Thanks for being a part of the agenda. And thanks for being a Jets fan.
So I guess we'll be seeing you at the reception on the 21st, right?
I will be there.
Perfect. Can't wait.
Yay.
All right. And maybe you'll be at Donnie's because Donnie's is going to have a bigger turnout than we are, apparently. All right. We
everybody out there over at that restaurant with Donnie.
Yeah. All right. We will see you soon, sir. Why am I doing the Richard Nixon thing? Anyway,
I have no clue.
We'll see you later. All right. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great, actually.
See, that's what we're talking about. That's what next week is going to be about. Fun
stuff. No, it's not. Not if we do this. If there's a Stump the Godfather, I will walk out. Right?
You know why? You know why the real reason why there will not be a Stump the Godfather for sponsorship purposes. We can't do it.
That's absolutely a good point.
Just can't do it.
Very good point, actually. So one thing we need to do before we go is give a shout out to all the team that's been working with us, the event planner, the graphics genius, the video audio guys. I mean, there are basically 4 people who have been instrumental in making this actually happen on from every facet of it, from the logistics to the day-to-day to the let's just make sure that this happens that moment. And we have Hilton Thompson, who is our event planner. What's the name of her company? I know them by the name.
I know Folks is in it, but I don't.
3D Folks. You see, that's the thing. We know them as people. We don't really check into their companies per se. We just know them as people. Well, Hilton Thompson, she's one of the best. I've dealt with event planners. I've dealt with big event planners from Richardson, some of the monster companies. And she's great. She is absolutely phenomenal. She's responsive. She's quick. You have an event. I don't know if she's Atlanta only. I imagine she is. But if she isn't, there's someone you should genuinely consider for your engagement, and regardless of size. Then we have Jeff Bond and hold it. It's Thomas.
Yeah, say the last
I
name.
am going to say it. I just have to. He's got to give me 1 second so I can.
By the way, Hilton's folksevents.com
All right. So give me. I need 1 second to literally.
to get your tongue ready to say that.
I got to find the name.
Well, while you're doing that, Chanel Wheeler is the one that has really helped right from the beginning with all of our graphics for the CRM Playaz, for PPN, all the shows, and especially for the event. She's been the driving force behind everything that you see on the website, on the Zoom event set up for us. It's all coming from Chanel Wheeler, and she will be there too, and we will shout her out at the event as well.
All right, and so it's the company is Chat with Leaders, and the Jeff Bond and the two people working with us are Jeff Bond and Thomas Mastro Totaro. I want to make sure I got his name right. They're phenomenal. I mean, I don't know what the hell we do without them. I wouldn't have a clue to do all the things they would. You would. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would not have a clue. And they've been an enormous help. And it's gone beyond just the audio and video too. I mean, it's just an organizing the whole event. And the other thing is Chanel and Thomas and Jeff and Hilton are working together exceptionally well as a team. I mean, the four of them really just have their own chemistry as well as the chemistry with me and Brent. It's been that to me has just been a highlight. And there is nobody working with us who I wouldn't give a high recommendation. So if you have any interest in people who do Chanel, again, how long has she been working with us now? 3 years?
At least.
Got to be 3 years at least. She's brilliant. And Chanel Wheeler, SW Graphics, SWG, basically. SW Graphics. Just check them all out. Every last one of them. They're amazing.
Last thing is, remember, if you want to check it out virtually, IRL2025.com. Go to there, go to that site. Top right, you see a big old register button. Hit that. It'll send you to the Zoom events registration and fill that out, and you're in. And you'll be able to check out all the different things that are going on and not just watch, but actually be a part of the whole thing. So please, IRL2025.com.
And keep your eyes open for more notices about that over the weekend.
All right. Well, we have gone a little over, but I think it was a good reason to go a little over. We had a lot to talk about here.
So. Yes, it was, as always, a lot of fun. And the next time we see anybody, we'll be there.
Yep. And just remember, Donnie, is he guessing? Did that just come in from like when he whatever?
Has to come in from somewhere else.
Yeah. So remember, the show, the event is next Wednesday, so that means we will not be here next Thursday.
Right.
We will be recuperating, hopefully somewhere. I don't know.
And that's the 23rd. So actually, our next show isn't February 6th. It would actually be January 30th because that is.
Well, I will be in San Diego.
Oh, that's right. You got
for,
that sugar
event. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. Yay.
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah.
Although I am looking forward to seeing. Although we will see Sarita.
Yeah, at
next
the event,
week.
So
I actually get to see Sarita 2 weeks in a row. So that's a good.
That's the good part of it.
That's a good thing.
I could do without the rest.
All right, and you know who else we get to see next week is somebody's mother, Minnie's mother.
Minnie's ma.
Why is that not showing up? That's weird. There you go.
It was there. It
It didn't show up on my screen. That's really weird.
on mine.
Matter of fact, it's not. I got to look. I'm taking a picture because I got two screens of this. One screen, it's up. The other screen, it's not. I am not kidding.
I'm looking straight at her right now. The adorable,
I'm taking a picture so we could see. This is so weird. I don't know why that's going on. But anyway, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Playaz, and we will see you in Atlanta next week.
Can't wait.